Oh, I did, didn't I? Oh yeah, I uploaded the title, but didn't update anything else. I can turn off the branded content too. Hold on, let me do that. Okay, and also let me go live on YouTube because I'm experimenting with not having the thing there. And we're live. Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? Happy Tuesday. Hello, Albert. How are you? I tried to bribe Zilby this morning with some food, and he came down, ate it, and then went outside to the other room, and then started jumping off the walls and meowing, trying to get me to come out with him. So I did not. So instead, we're still here. And maybe Zilby will come and join us today. Usually he does. Maybe during one of the breaks, I'll go and grab him and bring him back in, and he'll finish the food that he didn't quite earlier. All right, today is a continuation of the Docker course creation. You're recompressing your disk so you have more space. I remember back in the day, what was that called? It was you had to do it on non-journal disk drives. It was like a big thing that you did with Windows stuff until they updated to NTFS. Oh, it was I remember we did it all the time. And it wasn't compressing, but it was like remove it was like moving everything around so that all the blank stuff was together. I remember we did that like every month or so. Uh, oh man, I forget what that was called. That was a fun time. That was like one of the few times that like you could like non-technical people would even know what that meant. Lego Logic, hello. How are you doing today? Sonoma. I don't think that was it. Defragmentation. That was it. Yes. It was there was even jokes like it was in popular media. It's like, okay, well, we got a defrag. OSX. Yeah. This is Sonoma, right? It's either Sonoma or one. I haven't been paying attention. It's whatever the latest one is. Um, but yeah, this is Sonoma. And let's see. Okay, everything is working. You can actually see my screen. So let's continue. Second banner ad today. Okay, interesting. I have the ads run for 3 minutes at the very beginning of chat. So that way it should be good. What is for today? Today is the Docker course. So we're going to be working on, we've actually got a lot of articles already written. So these are the articles that are going to be in the course. And then we have one final section planned for this, which is Docker in production. And so we have to figure out what this really means. Like what does Docker in production really mean? I wrote these as like possibilities for articles for that, but I'm not 100% sold on it. Like for example, I don't want to do like an ECS. Like if I were to run Docker in production, oftentimes that's either going to be just SSHing into a VPS and just going like, okay, Docker compose profile production up. No, probably not an orchestration tool like Docker Swarm. That's well, first of all, I don't know it myself, so I would need to learn that. And I don't know, like I'm going back and forth with like, is there even a reason to do Docker in production for this specific for this course? Art Winin, hello. You either run Docker in Kubernetes or in Cloud Functions. Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I do. Is I run it in ECS, Elastic Container Service, which is essentially Docker in the cloud for AWS. And behind the scenes, from what I understand, they're just running Docker Swarm. But it's very rare that we would run Docker Swarm ourselves unless you're self-hosting. And that's not necessarily, well, AWS Fargate is ECS. AWS Fargate is ECS. So that's what I use. I have a few different things that run it. One thing for Brooks builds, and then 2 or so things for my contract work. That's I haven't validated that yet, but I have that's what was told to me, and I would believe it because the configuration is very Docker, but it's like also just like slightly different, but it's still pretty much Docker. So I would guess that it was probably just Docker Swarm. Startup Builder, hello. How are you doing today? Am I doing contract work? No working for Boss anymore? Yeah, so I am doing contract work for the same people that I was W-2 full-time employed for before. So it's it doesn't feel different except for the fact that I'm 10 hours contracted right now, as opposed to what is it called? It's excluded? No, full-time. Oh, there's a term for it for basically I'm excluded from, no, exempt. It's full-time exempt for W-2 work, which generally means exempt from like overtime stuff, and exempt from like some of the hourly type things. A lot of, if you have somebody working full-time, you oftentimes just have them go that way. That way, if they work over 40 hours per week, you don't have to pay them any extra. And that is what the exempt is all about. And that's why so many companies, especially in America, love to do that. Oh no, I've never done overtime for my client. And when I was working there full time, there's a few times that I did overtime. And generally speaking, I avoided it. We did our best in my team to avoid it like the plague. And it ended up being really good. Like all the people on my team, when I had a team, generally they really appreciated that. In fact, there was actually several people that I had to manage to like stop them from overworking. Is your learning platform hosted online or still development? It's hosted online. Like there's still several things that need to be developed for it, but it works, and there's a course on it, and I've had 5 sales for it. If you do overtime once, you do it all the time. Good. Oh, I don't have a URL for that. Do I have that actually makes me wonder, do I have any command for that one? Where is my Nightbot? Let's take a look. Where's my commands? Custom. Let's see. I do not have one. Let me add that in. What should this be called? I don't think learning course how about courses? Courses, and you can see courses that Wix has for sale at, and that is here. Right now there's only one of them. Everyone can do it. Cooldown, we'll do max cooldown, so once every 5 minutes. I don't think I have an alias for that, so I submit that. Okay, so it is, wait, where is that? Oh, it's in the next page. Oh, nope, I did that wrong. It shouldn't be courses, it should be bang courses. Okay. There. Try that now. It's exclamation point courses. Lego Logic, you have to go. Will this be saved as a VOD? Yes, so it's going to be saved as a VOD, basically the same position. I just have it stay up there. I'm also recording these to discs, that way I can cut them down to smaller size. Right now we're thinking about, like, every time I take a break, I do a cut. So that would be every hour or so. I do a cut. But we'll I'm going to be playing around with that a little bit. I'm also really behind on cutting those up. So this one, the really huge, long, however many hours we're going to do the stream for, that's going to be the one you'll be able to watch as a VOD. All right. I heard a Discord thingy. Let me turn on, what is it called? Streamer mode. Is there a shortcut for that? That would be really nice. Okay, that should make it so you don't hear that through the microphone, because I'm not wearing headphones for this. I just have some speakers up. And I think we're about ready to go. So I guess part of the ready to go, is there anything else that, if you were to be taking a course on Docker, what would you like to see? This is what we have right now. We have, in the first step section, installing Docker, running your first container, listing Docker images, finding and pulling Docker images, deleting a Docker image, updating a Docker image, listing Docker containers, deleting a Docker container, running a Docker container in daemon mode, connecting to a running Docker container, stopping a running Docker container, starting a stopped Docker container, setting up VS Code to work with Docker, running multiple containers at once. I think we have that starting here with deving with Docker. So here we have an example CRUD project, example express CRUD project, which is just like pulling that down and what that project is. But we have sharing code with a Docker container, exposing ports between a host and a container, setting environment variables when running a Docker container, setting working directory when running a container, viewing Docker container logs, connecting two containers with a network. So that would be the multiple Docker containers. Persist data with a volume, using a Docker file to customize a Docker image, running the container without root, automating the setup with Docker Compose. So there's the Docker Compose. Using Docker Compose Watch, which is the brand new thing that released out of alpha beta earlier this month, which took us a little while to figure out how to use it, but it actually is pretty cool. And hopefully should make some, it should make some of the pain points of working with Max and Rust go away, hopefully. Now, I'm thinking maybe instead of prodding with Docker, what if we just did some challenges? Or maybe a challenge. What would be some, maybe a single challenge? What would be a good challenge? I could think of two, using Docker to, especially now with the Docker Watch, it could be really interesting to do a custom image for Helix, for example, and use that for dev type stuff. So you don't have to like configure it yourself. It just, the Helix is running inside of the container. Actually, I don't think that would work at all, would it? Because if I have the editor inside the container, I wouldn't be able to. Oh, you suggest showing dive for Docker. Great way to visualize what happens on every Docker image. Okay, so yeah, so like maybe just some like a miscellaneous section. So miscellaneous. So exploring Docker. I think it's like Docker images with dive. Let's see, creating security scanning. Trivia is an example. What type of security scanning are we talking about? Security scanning like an entire application? I've actually never done that myself, so I don't know if I want to do a full. That might be like a challenge that we do, but not in a course itself. Hungry Bear Dev, hello. How are you doing today? I am doing good, thank you. Okay, so exploring Docker images with dive. I could also do containerizing, like containerize Helix for like a portable editor wherever you are. As long as you have Docker, you have Helix. Node is beating you up, but he just started, so yeah. I mean, not that surprising. Any language would probably beat any of us up, right? To begin with. That's what makes it feel so good when we get it. Yeah, so let's try like containerize Helix. And let's see. Maybe we'll just do those two and we'll sort of like feel how, we'll see how that feels. All right, so exploring Docker images with dive. So obviously the first part of this is going to be exploring what this is. So let's go take a look at Docker dive. Is this the one that I started? I don't remember. I started something else, didn't I? Or maybe I didn't. Okay, and this shows what's in here. All right. Oh, you know what would be really, really good? And the dive thing just made me think of it, which is reduce alternate. Oh, it's use alternate tags to reduce your image size. What are some people using? Like use a different base. I don't know if it'd be distroless images. Are distroless images even a thing? Wasn't let's see, it was Slim. It was Slim. So for a while, Alpine Linux, that's what it was. Everybody was using Alpine Linux as the base when building up Docker images for smaller footprints. I think that's the one I would go with. Is there one that's actually distroless? Is that a thing? What would they use? Oh, CentOS. CentOS is also pretty small, isn't it? Oh, it's also deprecated. Distro the simple packages the binary into the Docker image. Oh, okay. No OS layer, no entry point. The binary just runs. Wait, is that possible? Don't you need something that Docker builds on top? So there is a distro there at one point in time. That would be like Alpine, right? Right? Maybe? Full Stack Live, hello! Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for the raid. How are you doing today? And how's your stream? Doing excellent. Had a good stream. You got your Varnish course landing page online. Excellent. That's really great to hear. Oh, so it's called Scratch. All right. Well, what we're working on today is a Docker course for web development. So far what we have, we've in previous streams written articles for all of these things. So basically the basics of running with Docker, and then also slightly more advanced stuff with Docker in order to basically dev with it. And now we're sort of talking, we're figuring out today's plan to add in maybe like a miscellaneous section for just other things like exploring with Dive, maybe containerizing something like Helix, and then using Alpine to reduce the Docker sizes. And then, okay, Art went in, you're suggesting, okay, there's Scratch. An explicitly empty image, especially for building images from scratch. Interesting. I want to try this. This image is most useful in the context of building base images such as Debian and BusyBox, or super minimal images that only contain a single binary and whatever it requires, such as hello world. So from scratch is a no op in the Docker file and will not create an extra layer in your image. Oh, interesting. Well, that's nice. I thought Scratch was going to be a layer itself, but no, it's a special command, essentially. You can use Docker's reserved minimal image, Scratch, as a starting point for building containers. Using the Scratch image signals to the build process that you want the next command in a Docker file to be the first file system layer in your image. While Scratch appears in Docker's repository in the hub, you can't pull it, run it, or tag any. Yeah. Okay. So you could just only do from scratch. Okay. We can play around with this and sort of like see what's going on with it. And then, oh, that's Google Container Tools distroless. Oh, but that's not a Docker thing. That's interesting. Distroless images contain only your application and its runtime dependencies. They do not contain package managers, shells, or any other programs you would expect to find in a standard Linux distribution. So basically, you won't be able to connect inside of one to investigate it because there's no shell for you to connect into, and the command is already running, so that's not really helpful either. Yeah, we can take a look at this too. Okay, so it looks like they have... Okay, they have a bunch of base images to use. So you do like from GCR IO distroless CC Debian 12, for example. Okay, and they have okay, they have some of these to make it small. Yes, they don't remain a shell, which means that you have to use the entry point command in the vector format. Yeah. That's like the end game for all containerized apps when the app have enough observability and stability to inform you when it breaks. Yeah, but like how often do the apps really have that? That's the problem, is that oftentimes we are, I mean, it's a good thing to go for. And it's good to have. I think this is probably better for running our own stuff than trying to run somebody else's, right? You had that once in your 10-year DevOps cloud life. Oh, that's so sad to hear, and yet it's also unsurprising. Twisted Seed, hello. How are you doing today? All right, so we can play around with this too. I kind of want to try this as well because I'm wondering, Scratch, I'm guessing is going to be really hard to set up because we probably have to put in libraries, don't we? Can I put in like something? Like they just copy hello and command hello is like, is that gonna work? Is that gonna do something? So let's see. Let's using Alpine to reduce Docker sizes. And then I want one last one here would be using, okay, the Scratch and distro lists are similar, nothing except the binary party. Okay, so using Scratch to wrap to Dockerize for using Docker Scratch. How about that? Can you hear that? I have an alarm telling me that something is going on in the garage, but it's my wife right now, and so I don't have to worry too much about what is going on. But I don't know if it's if you can hear that. It's one of the ways that like I can stay down here in the basement, and it's like, okay, I know that I don't know if like people are doing weird things around the house. Okay, so I think I like these a little bit more. So exploring Docker images with Dive, containerize Helix. So this would be like an actual command that we do. And then we can use Docker as a command, which this is always like a pretty cool demo to show people. I think last time I did it, it was with Vim, not even NeoVim. It was just straight up Vim. And I think I still have it. I have a bunch of little things in here. This one. This is my Vim. 6 years ago, we did this. So yeah, if I have nothing. I don't have. Yeah, that's cool. But the way this works, I don't think I did. I think it's I don't even remember anymore how this works. So let's see, we have our course articles here. Let's try this here. So if I do Docker run, we're gonna do that. I don't think I want IT. I think it's a command. So I think I just need a volume for pwd. I think it goes into code, but it might go into /data. We'll find out. And if I might need I might need. Let's RM that. Not on the other side of this. RM that. Let's sure, let's do IT. Ooh, we could dive in and check what's inside. Yeah, that's true. We can do that. Oh, that would be an excellent way for us to explore with this. Yeah, let's try that. Let's see if I get it right in the first try, and then we'll dive into it. Oh, this was built on. Oh, I can't. I don't think I can use this. Okay. And yep, that's not it. It's probably, oh, it was data. It was data. But here, let's try dive and take a look at that. So we'll X out of here. Let's find dive again. How do we use this? Building a MacBook supporting only the Docker container engine is. Wait. So is this a Docker image that I run? Or is it a command that I run outside? That's the only install that I see so far. It's a binary, okay. Okay, here it is, installation. Okay, we can do brew install. Sure, go ahead and do that. I'm gonna do brew install. I need a brew up. Oh yeah, it always does a brew update first. So brew install dive. So that should do the thing. Okay, so that's good there. I should be able to come back to here. We should be able to do dive. Okay, so to analyze the Docker image, simply run dive with an image tag ID digest. Okay, so we can just do dive. Because why would you put the most important thing, the installation, at the top of your README, right? I know. Yep. And then I've seen it be successful to not put it at the top, but then you have a table of contents to then jump directly there. This one has neither. Because I can see the desire to have this at the top to sort of try to sell it, right? But I would love to, like, maybe literally right here. Okay, now can I install it? Oh, fun. Okay, so I want to investigate this one. So we're going to do dive that. Oh, I have to sign into my Docker account. Really? Huh. Why do I need to sign into my Docker account? Does it say why? inode, hello. Or inode? How are you doing today? Interesting. Okay, let's try Ubuntu then. So let's try dive Ubuntu latest. Yeah, it won't let me do this. Do I have Docker images? Okay, how about this? Dive. We have this one right here. So you latest. Yeah, it can't, it's not looking locally. It needs to pull this in from, but why does it need to do that with, why does it need a login for that? Because these are just, these are public. Interesting. You're dockering and breaking stuff all day. Well, that sounds fun. We're creating a course on Docker. We've got a majority of it done already. And so now we're in sort of like miscellaneous fun stuff like Dive, which I'm a little bit sad that this requires to log in. Am I doing something wrong? Wait, okay, so there's a configuration. Oh, but none of that is for like login. Oh, weird. Okay. Issues. Are there any of you complaining about login? Okay, how to inspect a local image. Dive always fetches a new image from my Docker hub. Okay. Still not possible to dive into local image, neither by its name or nor by ID. Arwin, do you still have it installed? Can you try it? Is it working for you? I'm not sure I want to put something into the course that's like, the other thing is there's no reason that this needs to have me logged in, right? Because if it's just running the pull for me, public repos don't need that. But yeah, this is like very similar to the problem that I have. Does it seem a correct image? Will Goodman dive latest? Yeah, so will Goodman dive? So that seems about right. Oh, it probably doesn't have a simple if public check before Docker login. Interesting. So even if it's a okay. Now somebody suggested that we try Docker inspect. What is Docker inspect? I think I've tried that before. So if I do Docker inspect that. Oh, right. Docker inspect. Oh, right. This looks at these things, but it's not, there's not a fun view of like what's going on. I have used this before. I used this before to find like where volumes were or something like that. I forget what I did with it. But this does not really help. Okay, you have Docker logged in. I've not logged into Docker on this profile. I have it logged into my other profile. And it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I would be willing to log in, except for the fact that I shouldn't need to for this use case. Can I? Okay, so dive. Can I tell you to do stuff? Okay, so that's not really all that helpful. There's not really much for me to do here. Oh, but wait, I could do, no, I can't do Docker build. Maybe I can do dive build. So if I do dive, not here. We want the express CRUD. Okay, so here's a Docker file here. So if I do dive build, I think dive express CRUD. No, okay, so it can't, it builds it just fine. Yeah, it built that just fine. And then, okay, so what are you really yelling about? Handler not available locally. Are you trying to... Are you trying to run Docker Scout? Well, and that's one of the reasons why I'm a little bit concerned about about logging in for this. Because why does it want Docker login? Now, if it had documentation in there explaining, hey, we have Docker login for this thing, and it was, it made sense. It's like, okay, I understand that. Now I'll log in. But like the fact that there's nothing in there about needing to log in, but then it requires login it's a little bit concerning. Also, Pudata, hello. How are you doing today? Okay, so what if okay, let's try this Docker Scout quick view. Oh, okay, so log in with your Docker ID or email address to use Docker Scout. Okay. Can I create an access token? Okay, so I'm logged in to the website now. And then if I go take a look in my account, security, access tokens. Oh, I have 2 access tokens from, oh, auto-generated from Docker Desktop. Okay, fine. Let's see if I do new access token. I want public repo read only. Let's try that. This will be Brooks builds public read only. Generate. Okay, so I have to do Docker login. So I do the Docker login with that, and now password. Oh, cool. So I can paste this in and you won't be able to see it. And then I'll immediately copy something else. Okay, so I've logged in with an access token that should not, even if I expose it, it only has public repo read access. So it's literally useless to anything, to like any private stuff. You have the login, but cannot build the container for some reason. Same error. Oh, interesting. So I wonder if it's going to be the same error. So first of all, I want to try this Scout or Quick View. Okay, interesting. So Scout now works where that didn't before. So let's try our Docker, no, dive. And I'm going to build this repo, this Docker file. And you're right, it's the same problem. It's trying to pull this container down, which I don't. Exporting to image, exporting layers, writing image, this. Okay, so it create, okay, so this is the SHA-SUM for the image that it created. It's trying to pull this. It's trying to pull the thing that we just wrote from Docker Hub. Do you have some labels in Dockerfile? I don't. We can add them though. So I don't have any labels for this, but we can add one. What is it? Label. I could just, it's just anything, right? I don't think I've ever used labels before. I think I always just skip them over. We'll call it testing dive. Hey, Artwin, no problem whatsoever. Like a big part of what we do on stream here is we play around with things, we test them out, we experiment with it. So I think this is perfectly fine. Yeah, it feels like it's trying to pull the image that it just literally made with Docker build, which is really silly. What I'm worried about, and I think Artwin, you have, I think it was Artwin, but it might have been one of you others. I wonder if it's actually going to try to upload the build to my public Docker Hub and then pull it down again, which is terrible. That's like, what? I don't know if this is if this helps though. Like, I don't think there's any point of this label though. If I save this, now if I do the Docker build, can I do like a help on this? That just gave me help for literally Docker build. Wait a second. What's going on with this? Handler not available locally, trying to pull. That's interesting. What if I put my dash dash help here? Is that what they're doing? Are they literally doing a Docker pull on the tag that it created? But even so, there's no reason. Yeah, do Docker build myself? Sure. Docker build dash T. We'll do dive, not dive. Well, how about this? We'll do express crud not dive. Oh, I didn't do label, correct. Yeah, there it goes, and it builds it just fine. So it's all cached. We built this before, so it's just instant created, and we can look at that with Docker images. And so here is our express crud not dive. So that's fun. Try dive that hash. Sure, let's dive this hash. Handler not available locally. That is so not true. What? Okay. Handler not available locally. Dive always fails in trying to fetch local image. Now this is closed last year, halfway through last year. So a little bit over half a year ago. There's what we got. This means we'll try to pull an image name, blah, with the tag latest, which is not what you want. Could you please post the output of Docker images? Okay. It happens when newer versions of Docker Desktop are installed without admin privileges on macOS. Oh. Oh. Okay. So now I made myself, so this profile is my streaming profile. Now I have an admin profile that I use that's a different profile. And so this is like something that like bothers me about like modern dev is like so many things. So it's not even a Docker login thing. It's like something else. Okay. It's because this is not the profile that I installed Docker with. This is, I installed Docker as an admin on the other profile. I wonder if I come over to our other shell here. Do we have Docker? No. Okay, so Docker over there isn't running. We're going to go to big camera for a second while I do some shenanigans. Let's switch over to my other profile. And we'll launch. Okay. What are I don't have my Twitch chat anymore because that's on the other profile, so I can't actually see. Well, I can see Restream Bot if it works. So if I run Docker here, okay, so Docker's up and running. So now let's say I switch back to my streaming profile. Okay, we're back over here. I don't want to start deleting that kind of stuff. I don't know the ramifications of that are, and I don't want to do it live on stream. That would be maybe something I would do for fun, like off stream. Okay, so let's try this. I'm in my other shell and I want to do a Docker images. Okay, so now I have that. So let's try dive Berserker Vim. No, so it's the same problem. I do Docker login again. Oh, I break just started. Okay. To Berserker, I think is that's oh, I need to go find this again. Oh, Brooks Kirker. Yeah. Yeah, but either way. Oh, might not exist. Okay, so you're right. I probably just did it wrong. Brooks Zerker. Okay, much better. I think this is working. That being said, ad break is supposedly happening for a bunch of you. So I think what I'm going to do is go see if I can grab Zilby, bring him down here while we're waiting for, make sure that everybody's ads are working or not working or whatever it is that ads do for us. You have no ads? Yeah. It seems to be very few people that get the ads, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. Cool. We got it up and running. Anyways, you were born in a good country. Oh, I wonder if that's what it is. They're yelling at you. They're yelling at Twitch to say you can't do ads for this. All right. I will be right back. And then we'll start playing around with this and see how it goes. So I will see you in a couple minutes.